So you know we love calling Solid Rock a churchy business any chance we get, because from where we sit, that is what it is. Sure, there are missions and programs, and there's worship and inspirational messaging, but at the very end of the day, JP and Wayne are running a business, one that comes with little oversight when it comes to how the money is being spent and how the business is being run. Jane's lawsuit included many paragraphs about this. JP and Wayne are the church, and the church is JP and Wayne. And that is not how it's supposed to be.
Think about it this way. They knew that Wayne Miller in 1989 was doing bad things with a lot of people. It was not something that wasn't well known. Florence is only an hour from Myrtle Beach. It wasn't something that anybody didn't know about. And this man creates a second church with a college or school or whatever he wants to call it, because I know he was handing out honorary degrees or doctorates like they were candy. He became Dr. Miller, and they allowed this man to create a church. And in their bylaws, they were the authority. It wasn't run by a board of elders or elders or deacons. They were the church. Them, the ultimate authority. Everything goes through them. They make the decisions. And so if you have an issue and you go to the person who's doing the abusing, what good does it do? And because of the things that we've talked about with trust and not wanting to rock the boat and people not wanting to believe that people are bad people, then what happens is people have a tendency to then say, nah, I'm not going to get involved. And then, a year goes by, 5 years goes by, 10 years goes by, and now we're 27 years into this thing.
We talked to Randy about the importance of people speaking up when they see red flags or when they know of abuse that may be happening or that has happened. There's this perception that speaking up is like putting yourself at the bottom of Mount Everest and being compelled to make that dangerous climb up to the top by yourself. And this isn't to say speaking up isn't hard or that there won't be challenges. But Randy has also shown us that there's support, and it can also be as simple as just doing it.
I was contacted a week ago, and I put it together in a week. It can be done, and you have to put time aside, and you don't sleep a lot for 3 or 4 days. But it don't take a lot for somebody to say, hey, this is wrong. Something needs to be done. And you get yourself up off of your ass and you do something about it. I'm not talking about the victim. I'm talking about the people that are watching it. I'm talking about the people that know. I'm talking about anybody in any church or school or sports organization anywhere who sees something that doesn't make sense involving a child. Well, could somebody get falsely accused? They could, and it could be innocent. And that's terrible. It's unfortunate. But if you save 99 kids and there's one person that gets hurt, unfortunately, the 99 kids went out. You have to stand up and you have to become known and you have to say something. But if you say something to the lead church pastor and he does nothing, and you say something to the police and they do nothing, what do? That's where you come in. That's where people on social media and podcasters and TikTok and Insta and Facebook and people who have followers, and they begin to spread the message because there is strength in numbers. And when there's enough people causing a hue and cry, what's going on? Why is this happening? Why hasn't something been done? Eventually someone's going to say, oh, well, we better do something because otherwise they're ready to run us out of town. You got to have people that are willing to stand up and take action and address the inequities that are going on in our society in all sorts of things. But in this case, with this particular matter, think about it. It's been 27 years. People have known about this. People knew about it in 1998, and they knew before 1990. They've known about Wayne Miller since 1989. That was just the television broadcast on WPDE. There may have been all kinds of stuff being sold to other people and to the police. I don't know. But when they do a 5-part series in 1989 on someone on a local station, that's crazy. That wasn't done. That was that's like the documentary for the news station in 1989. This should have never occurred. Shouldn't have ever been allowed to have. If he had a church, I don't know who would be going to it with all of the bad stuff that was going on. And he, I know he faced stuff in 2014 where he had to face criminal charges finally. At the end of the day, what it really requires are people that are willing to say, no, this is unacceptable. This cannot happen.
This cannot happen. Too many years have passed. We have talked a lot about that WPDE series that was powerful enough to chase Wayne Miller out of Florence and crush all of his big dreams of Gloryland, which was seriously straight out of the Righteous Gemstones. Listen more about that in episode 53. It's unbelievable. J.P. Miller's mother talked a lot about this series, accusing Wayne of sexually inappropriate behavior with students in her divorce documents and how it pretty much sent their marriage spiraling, as I would imagine. But Randy made a great point here. Documentaries really weren't a thing in the 80s. It's incredibly unusual that a local news station dedicated so many resources to exposing Wayne Miller way back then. Remember, Wayne filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the station to scare them into silence, but he soon dropped it. Like father, like son. We hope that someone somewhere has tapes of this series that will come to light during this lawsuit. Considering that there were multiple alleged victims who were able to speak out in the 80s, when church sexual abuse was rarely talked about and rarely exposed, how many were there really? How many people have been silent about this for decades?
I think that there's any case I ever get into, there's no telling where it's going to lead. You're looking for justice, and you never want this to happen to another person ever again. And you're bringing light to a dark situation, but you're also looking for compensation for the injuries that you've suffered. And if there's no insurance, you obviously want to look, okay, are there other entities that were controlling the actions, or were there other entities that were benefiting financially from this particular church? Were there people that were benefiting? Were there people that knew about this and didn't do anything? Like you said, there are people that protected. In the 2023, I don't have a problem with everything from the 2023 case because there's no statute of limitations problems. But the 1998 case, obviously with 27 years passing, then you're talking about a situation where you don't know who the witnesses were and you don't know who was working there. And so uncovering all of those things, it's a very different matter than it is if it was something that was recent. And so, but that's where discovery comes in. And that's where we have a very robust set of discovery in any case. And so we will absolutely, and what I've always told people, and I'm not saying it is in this case, but in most cases, follow the money. Follow the money. And you're going to find the people that are usually involved or responsible.
We asked Randy about the possibility of other victims coming forward, considering how numerous studies have shown that sexual abusers, and again, these are allegations right now when it comes to the Millers, usually have multiple victims. And particularly when it comes to someone who is in a position of power, like J.P. Miller and Wayne Miller were for most of their lives.
I have been retained by someone else, and there are different people that have called, and we will go through them. And obviously I have to look at it. Do I think this happened? Did this happen? Can this person provide me with something to make sure that I'm not just filing something that didn't really happen? And it's very difficult with people who have sexual trauma because, their memory may not be the best, or even if it is, sometimes it's halting. And so, I had to feel very comfortable that this had really happened. And I did, and we went after it. And we will vet each person that calls or contacts us. In every case I've ever been involved with a church, there's always more than one. Always, always, always. The average offender does not get caught until they've offended the 60th time. That means there's probably a lot of people out there.